Very grateful for joining me here on the Business and Sports edition of our news update here on News Ghana Clock, also on Churchill Television. It is coming to you from our news hub here inside the Zoo here in Accra. My name is Kweku Ediama Ansa. Let's take a look at stories that are making headlines. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has launched the mobile money interoperability system in Ghana. Also, Parliament urges the general public to embrace the newly introduced tax identification number, which is also known as TIN. Now in sports, Xylophone Cash signs 5-year sponsorship contract with the Ghana Premier League. Also, Chelsea Football Club has been crowned winners of the 2017-2018 edition of the Emirates FA Cup in England. We have these and many other stories all coming up in the next few minutes. Please do stay. Alright, thanks for staying there with us. Now let's settle for the news in detail. The Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia has launched the first mobile money payments interoperability system in the country. This follows the challenge issued by the Vice President last year to the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, the local telecommunications companies, and the financial institutions to ensure that mobile money platforms were interoperable to making banking services more accessible to the large unbanked population, which is estimated to be 70%. Now, Vice President Dr. Bawumia addressed the gathering at the ceremony.
It is indeed a historic day for our country. We thank God for this day. Last year, when I challenged the Bank of Ghana, GIBS, the telcos and financial institutions to ensure that mobile money platforms were interoperable, I knew it was going to be an arduous task. But I trusted and believed in the ability of the Ghanaian to deliver. And here we are today. Interoperability is a reality.
Moving on. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Ernest Addison, has explained that the initiative of the mobile money interoperability system will mark the new dawn in mobile money transactions here in the country. Ernest Addison made this statement at the launch of the mobile money interoperability system by the Vice President Bawumia in Accra. The initiative will aid mobile money operators to send and receive money on all mobile platforms in connection with all telecommunication companies here in the country. In an address by the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Ernest Addison, he explained the work of the system.
Today marks a significant milestone in the collaborative efforts between all stakeholders in the financial services sector to push the boundaries of Ghana's payment systems. Today's program started with the establishment of the real-time gross settlement systems, the electronic central securities depository, the automated clearinghouse system, and the code line check truncation system.
Let's move on and do some of the stories where Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia has reiterated the need for the adoption of the technologies to transform the local economy. Now, the Vice President made this known on Friday when the Huawei Seas for the Future for 2017-2018 paid him a visit at the presidency here in Accra. Huawei Seas for the Future is a training program for selected students from across the world who are given the opportunity to work with the Huawei at their headquarters in Shenzhen in China. This year, 10 students have been privileged to be selected to sharpen their ICT skills with one of the leading ICT firms in the world. The Vice President in his address was emphatic in his view that the using of ICT and technology will help to forward the development of the nation.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has consistently said that the development gap that we have is essentially a knowledge gap. That is what is not a resources gap. If it was resources, we would have been way ahead. But what he's saying is that it is a knowledge gap. The quicker we can bridge the gap in knowledge, the quicker we will be able to develop.
Parliament has called on the general public to embrace the newly introduced tax identification number policy, and he has said that they should be committed in their tax payment. Now, this is the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei Owusu, in his opening remarks at the workshop organized by the Ghana Revenue Authority, admonished the public to contribute to the development of the country by paying their taxes regularly. Now, the tax identification number, which was introduced in April this year, is expected to broaden the country's revenue to help increase developmental projects here in the country. Now let's move away and do some sports stories, where Xylophone Cash has signed a 5-year deal contract with the Ghana Premier League Board for its sponsorship. At a brief ceremony at the Ghana Football Association's headquarters in Accra, both the CEOs of Xylophone Media, Nana Appiah-Mensah, and GFA boss Kwesi Nyantakyi signed a memorandum of understanding on behalf of their respective institutions. Now let's take a look at what ensued at the ceremony.
As I said, we're doing due diligence, and that is what made some people privy to the discussions that was ongoing in camera. And they thought, by virtue of wanting to solicit their views and opinions, if you like, and our quest to do a proper due diligence just so we can enter into this marriage, they have earned the right to, contribute by way of the advice or criticize or what.
And in the next 5 years, we are going to have Xylophone Cash.
Now let's do some international sports stories, where Chelsea Football Club has beaten Manchester United in the recent Emirates FA Cup final to win the prestigious trophy. Now, the finale, which ended in just a goal for the London side Chelsea, was witnessed by over 1,000 fans at the Emirates Sports Stadium. Let's take a look at the highlights of that game.
Now, can he get away here? Eden Hazard. And Michael Oliver gives Chelsea an FA Cup final penalty. Phil Jones trying to match the a short approach, almost halfway through the first half, and Hazard rolls it past De Gea, and Chelsea lead Manchester United at Wembley in the 2018.
That's all we have for you by way of news update here. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has launched the mobile money interoperability system in the country. Also, Parliament urges the general public to embrace the newly introduced tax identification number, which is also known as TIN. Now in sports, Xylophone Cash signs 5-year sponsorship contract with the Ghana Premier League, and also Chelsea Football Club has been crowned winners of the 2017-2018 edition of the Emirates FA Cup tournament in England. That's all we have for you by way of news update here. But for more news updates, get to our social media handles on Facebook and YouTube. It's all at News Ghana Clock. The news update was produced by AMULENS Production, and my name is Kweku Ediama Ansa. Thanks for watching.